transitioning back to the Pens, man. Obviously, they've had a wacky 2 weeks for them, man, in terms of the postponement of games because of COVID and stuff like that. They had their first game. It would have been Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. The first game since February 1st. And obviously they had dropped this one to the New York Islanders 3-4. It's crazy though, man. I'm trying to think back on it. But the biggest thing was I thought as a whole they played well throughout the game. That was the crazy part where I thought that was probably their best game start to finish. But the end part is what got them. The power play goal they gave up third period. I think it was was it a minute left? It was like right around that time. It was crazy. But that was the thing. Like I was surprised because I said, man, they literally started fast, looked good throughout. But still, their Achilles heel this season has been the special teams, right? The power play element of it, especially the power play kills and stuff like that. And that broke their back in the only opportunity that they had all game from a power play standpoint, man. So it was cool to see them responding in a positive way because we felt like they went through a little bit of a span where you get the Rutherford resigning during abruptly at the beginning of the season, the goalie situation. They just looked like they were getting a little bit, mentally just drained, like not playing as hard. We talked about Malkin going through a little bit of a bad spell as well. But all of that kind of went away in this game, man. Malkin got a goal. Like, nice shot, he looked good. Guys were flying around. P.O. Joseph, shout out to him. He got his first.
This dude's the truth, man.
Dude, he looks good. You see, right? You see him. I like it. But he got his first goal, man. So I'm just like, they were looking good. Jake Gensel's still doing his thing. Jake
is a nice shot.
A nice start to the season.
Yeah, those were all really nice goals.
Seriously, man. They didn't overpass. Like, that was one of the criticisms as well about them, right? We said they were too pass heavy. They were making the highlight reel. We're trying to get this perfect 5-pass goal right here that's going to be on ESPN versus just taking the shots. We said, man, sometimes your best scoring opportunities happen off of a rebound, happen off of, just a rush. It doesn't have to be this perfect play with this pass, that pass, that pass. Sometimes it just happens. And they look like they were focusing more so on the other, whereas in this game, they went back to just shooting. Just shoot the puck. Just play fast. Use your skills, your speed, and your just overall talent is what gets y'all, these scenarios. It doesn't have to be this super structured, regimented offense. Like, you don't have to play like that. And it just went back to that, and that's why it looked good. But like I said, at the end, the power play defense.
Even just defense in general. Now, I'm not going to excuse Jari completely. I think he let a couple.
I was waiting to hear how you was going to respond to this now.
It's weird because I thought he had some awesome saves, though, where you're just like, wow, he's really bailing out this defense. Had a save. In the second period, like, he went on a crazy run.
Bro, he had a save. It would have been second period. I want to say it was either a 2-0 break. It was somehow where it was two guys on him. Pass, wrap around, and he makes this like crazy dive to stop it. I'm just like, whoa, like, look good.
But yeah, there's maybe a goal or two that shouldn't have been let up, but I thought the defense put him in a bad spot at the same time too. So it's one of those things. I don't want to completely blame the defense because there maybe was a save or two Jari could have made. At the same time, I don't want to rip on Jari because, like I said, in that second period, and some of those saves he had were like amazing.
I agree.
What do you do?
This terrible. Is my dilemma. So this is my dilemma here. Beforehand, I gave Jari passes because we said the teams in which he were getting scored on were the Bruins, the Flyers. We said, man, these are pretty good teams. We know who they are. We know what we expect from them. And we said with Casey DeSmith, we said, man, well, he's been playing well, but he's gotten the luckier draws in terms of these matchups. He's been the one going out there against the Islanders typically. And obviously the Islanders were on a 5-game losing streak going into this game. And 3 of those losses that came from the Pens, and DeSmith was in net. So I said, well, maybe, DeSmith's play was because he's going against the Islanders.
You might be thinking the Rangers.
Oh, excuse me. I
New York, same thing.
I mixed them up. But that was the thought process, right? But now we see Jari against a little bit lesser competition.
Yeah, they're in the same boat as the Rangers. Yeah, from record-wise. I looked it up.
Yeah. Now, obviously, the Rangers weren't on the 5-game skid. The Islanders were. But to see the Islanders, coming off of a 5-game skid, and this is how they do it, and you're the one that's in net, it's just kind of like, all right, man, like the whole excuse of you going up against the better teams, that kind of goes out the window now because we've seen you versus a team that's very much comparable to the teams that DeSmith was going against. And he was successful in terms of, now granted, he was still giving up goals, but they were winning these games.
I do think our defense just makes all these offenses look like juggernauts, though. Like you can't tell me from me watching these games. I can't tell who's good or bad. I think everyone's pretty good. I'm serious.
But you know,
like
what?
I have to check afterwards. I'm like, was this team good or not?
But you know what's funny though? Who else did we say was like that this past season? The Steelers at times. Man, we talked about how they had Jeff Driscoll came in here and had us on the edge of our seat. Like, what is going on with this? Like how many times do we see it? Garrett Gilbert? We like, who is this guy?
That's real.
Is he good? Is this guy good? Like, it was the same thing.
Should he even start in the whole year?
Is it just us? Because I thought we were good. I thought we were really good. But this guy made us look like, it wasn't so pretty.
Those are good points.
So when I think of it, I'm just like, that's kind of my
Same
dilemma,
shit, different sport.
Is it the Pittsburgh curse? Like, what's going on here, man?
I know the Pirates pitching's always bad, so I'm sure we'll see more of that.
Hey, man, but shout out to the fact that, all our talent is just going away. Either we're trading people. Now, granted, I know we're on Team Tank right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of Team Tank, but I know that's what we're doing.
We need to be, though. I mean, we weren't doing anything.
True. I do like the fact that if you're going to tank, you're going to do it the right way. And they are doing it the right way right now in terms of offloading assets, getting some draft picks and things like that, some prospects. But yeah,
it's going to be bad for a few years.
It is. I hope that the organization is committed to it enough, though. I don't want this to be a scenario where, you make a fire in the middle of the rebuild and now you set that back even further. Like, I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
That's my thing, man.
From some of the baseball insiders I've talked to, they actually like these trades. I think there was one trade that they thought was a little bit lesser than the other ones, but for the most part, the sentiment is it's good we're rebuilding. I think we got a lot back for some of these players.
Well, in the GM, they said throughout his career, he's, I guess, done this multiple times now in terms of rebuilds, and he's seen success with this. So hopefully that thing can help out. But until that happens, we're not talking we're not talking Pirates. Until that happens, I ain't about to hold my breath on that one. Y'all get pins. We'll give you pins talk. We venturing into that. We're not venturing to pins and Pirates now. We're not doing both of them this year. All right. Not yet. They got to earn that.
For sure.
They haven't earned that yet.